Hi, this is Kim Pinkney, and I just want to do a little talking about how these, how to get these skin tones from each of these. Now, if you look at the hair, those are the base tones that I used underneath, and then I applied orange, and then I kept applying orange. So starting with this one right here, I do like the red. I went over with a very light red, and then I let it dry a little bit, and then I went over with an orange, and it seems like more of a natural skin tone, and it works pretty good for a guy. You could tell right here where the nose, this is where I had some pencil, extra pencil, and it gives it a nice tone as well. Now, when you do use pencil on these, it won't wash out. Or if it does, it becomes faint, but it doesn't, it's still pretty much there. And that's after several washings and with bleach. So, a friend of mine told me to use like Dawn dish detergent, but I haven't done that yet. And I almost like the pencil effect in there. The next one is yellow, and it seems to make the orange brighter, or it dulls it a bit, but it's still kind of bright. So what I tried to do is use a little bit of red and orange, kind of tone it down just a little bit, but red becomes all consuming, and I did have a blowout here. I had too much, I had orange and too much water on my felt tip marker, so it came out like an orange blob. And it's easier to go from light to dark than dark to light. It's almost impossible. I have no colors to go over that. The only thing I could do to try to compensate for this was to make the rest of the skin tone about that tone. So I have to put it elsewhere so that I can kind of fake it and get away with it. Also, the yellow didn't cover as well. I didn't go over enough of the yellow. But I had to keep going back over. Now, I do like this gradient here, and that was achieved by going over with orange, letting it dry, then going over with orange again. I also added purple, and purple gives it more of a dark, almost brown color when combined with orange. Now, we saw the original one. This one was fun. This one was purple. Purple and orange together. When purple dries and orange goes over it, it gives a really nice skin tone, and it's like a brownish tone. I also went over with red and gave her some flush to the cheeks, but I had to go easy on it, and I had to let it dry a little bit. This one with blue, blue was hard to cover. And I kept trying to work it, but blue kept coming up underneath as kind of like a cold tone. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use blue again, or I might try it again using blue. But you see how it's just like right here, it was just too much blue. And then right here, it just became a muddy orange, greenish, icky color. Might work well for something else, like if I was doing just a whole blue tone-ish type thing, but like even around the lips, it just didn't work for me. It did kind of bring out the red in the lips. So if you want to use blue to increase the darkness of a color, cool, but it doesn't seem to work that well with orange. Orange it was too hard to cover with it, and I just kept going over and over and over and over, and it just became this. Now this might be a good base tone to try to work in some purple and trying to make it like maybe a darker skin color. So I'm going to try blue again, but I'm also going to combine it with purple and reds and possibly some orange to lighten it up or soften it. Okay. And this one right here. This one was green. It's still drying, and I've worked it in with orange, and orange seemed to cover it a little bit, but you can still see where the green is coming through the orange. So I'd have to make a couple more passes with the green. With these colors like the blue, the green, and the purple, you want to put a very light base on that where you're doing the shadows. and it seems to cover when you do it that way. And like underneath here, I wanted to see what would happen if I layered the green with orange, green with orange, green with orange, and I got this deeper, darker orange. When I did something like that with purple, I got a deeper, darker purple that almost turned brown. Or we can fake the brown out of that. Okay, but this one seemed to have turned brown. I've had enough orange, purple, and yellow on that to make that kind of turn out brown. And also I kind of cheated and had a black pen, and I added to that too with the Prismacolor. If you do add the black outlines and whatnot to things, let it dry first, or else you'll have a blowout like I had over here. And I kind of faked it. When you saw the red, it was really wet right here, so the red went out that way. So what I ended up doing is bringing some more of the hair this way, and trying to cover it. If you have a happy accident like that, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. You can probably go over it with an acrylic white and possibly cover it, or you could just try to work with it, cover it with hair, or just make it part of the, like I meant to do that sort of thing. But right here, this is where I should have let it dry, so I've lost kind of like the little lines that I had going on in the face. Alright, back down here with the pink. I'm not so sure about the pink. The orange is still very bright. It's still very vibrant. And anybody who works with these oranges, you know when it comes out bright, and it stays bright. When you do use it as a skin tone, dip it with water, with your felt tip marker. Any marker will do that has this kind of brush tip. This one is dry, so I didn't know what to do with my dry fabric color markers. Instead of throwing them away, and I discovered this technique. It's almost like a watercolor technique, but it's more controlled. And you just use a dab of water, dab a little bit of your Sharpie marker onto the tip of this, test it out somewhere here, like where you know it's going to be dark underneath the neck, between the head and the neck, and until you get to a tone that you like, or even dab with a cloth like I have here, and bring it back over and test it and see if that's how you like it. So here's the pink. And it's still bright. It's still bright against the orange. And when I went over it with orange, this was pink up in this area. Orange covered it pretty well. And here's where I tried to blend it in just a little bit. With another coat of orange, it might dull, it might not. Depends on how it looks in the sun. But other than that, that's what I came up with for some light skin tones. Now I'm going to try to make darker skin tones to see what we can do, and what kind of things we can work with, but it's a nice effect. So don't give up on your Sharpies. Yes, there's only 8 colors in this thing, but with just a few colors, letting it dry and then going back over it and using my technique, dipping it in water with a felt tip, and rubbing it in, working it in, you get these nice gradients. So let's see where we go with this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to be kept updated on some new shirts. And I'm going to try to fill this up with nothing but Sharpies. I'm going to try not to cheat with my my zigs or my color time or anything like that. So it's all going to be just the 8 color Sharpies. All right, bye-bye. Oh, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment field below, and I will answer as many as I can. All right? Have a great day, and thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.